Hey there, thanks for tuning in to Duck Bricks. I'm Chris, and well, if you have played or interacted with LEGO bricks, parts, or minifigures at any point in your life, you probably understand one of my personal favorite dreams to be able to light up any sort of LEGO set that I want without wires. Now, admittedly, there are a lot of LEGO light kits out there, and I've actually taken a look at quite a lot of them on this channel, namely the light kits for Ninjago City and Ninjago City Gardens, which you can find those videos linked in the description below, and you can actually see them right here. But the big problem with many of the LEGO light kits out there is that pretty much every single one of them requires wires. And you see, the issue with wires is that you have to be very, very careful when stringing them up. Either you have to run them underneath bricks, which risks severing a connection, and when you sever one, you sever all of the lights connected after that, or it's just a very time-consuming and tedious process overall. But all that changes today, because Vosentech has actually sent me a test kit of one of the most revolutionary LEGO light products I have ever had the joy of experiencing. This is the Lumable base. And the Lumable base allows you to light up any 1x1 stud diameter of a LEGO piece without wires, just like magic. It uses induction, but it basically works like magic, and I'm here to show you exactly how this works. Now, each Lumable kit actually does include stud or anti-stud converters, and I actually did receive a few test products that are actual official LEGO sets from Vosentech to demonstrate for all of you. What makes this review special, though, is that Vosentech is not just a random company that reached out to me. I actually went to college with its founder, Ivan, and he actually came up with the idea while we were in college and has brought the idea to fruition now. I am really excited to showcase what this product has to offer because I've been looking for a solution for LEGO lighting for a long time. And thankfully, Ivan was able to send me over a copy, so thank you so much for doing that, and I'm so excited to share this with all of you. So navigating to Vosentech.com, you can find the Lumable Wireless Light Set. I have linked this in the description below, and for $70, this is what you get. You get the large base, which allows you to place any number of lights on it in a wireless fashion. You get a charging cord to plug it into the wall, and you get a series of LEDs as well, which, as you can see from the photos, can be used to great effect with LEGO models and integrating them into different parts and components, again, all without wires. This is super exciting to me because you can really use it for pretty much anything you want, and again, you don't need wires, so you can actually play with different figures or actually move things around the entire display while everything is lit up all at once. So again, for $70, you do have the base, the lights, and in addition, they are just easily plug and play, so you get 25 microlights, a power adapter, and the base. And what's really cool is that they actually have a different number of products that they offer, such as LEGO stud mounts. For $10, you can get mounts on LEGO studs, like so you can just use those with the lights themselves, which are 3D printed. And for 25 pieces extra, you can actually just pay $25 to get extra lights, in case you need more than the standard lights provided. This is a product that not only is built for LEGO, but is built for pretty much any style of lights, which you can see right here, and again, very, very exciting that you can see the exact way that you can mount these without wires. But how good is the range, and how good do they look while lit up? Well, for that we need the review studio, so let's go ahead and take a look. So here is how the Vosentech system works. As you can see, you have a series of adapters where some of these connect to a single stud and some of these to a stud receptacle, which means you can place them on top of studs or below studs, which is really the only applications you're going to ever need. They also come with the differently colored lights themselves. If you want to know what color they are, simply turn on the base and you can see the color itself. And of course, here is an example of them in action on this police car here, which was sent to me by Vosentech. Thank you for sending me this and some of the other samples where you can see the different lighting setups on the cars themselves. So the lights are really modular in the fact that each one of these is custom 3D printed so that they actually receive a specialized LED on the center of them. This is all custom made and they specifically interface with LEGO studs. What's really cool is that, again, unlike many of the other LEGO lighting kits, these do not have you follow instructions to light up a certain kit. You have the freedom to choose which sets you want to light up, how you want to light them up, and exactly how big you want the lighting display to be. And because this is all just powered by one single platform, you can either have the platform mounted horizontally, vertically, or even diagonally. The sky is pretty much the limit here, as we're going to experiment as we play around with the different builds in this video. So throughout the course of this video, I'll be bringing over some of my own sets and taking a look at them, and also taking a look at some of these sample LEGO sets that have been provided by Vosentech to see how well the lights work there, and of course all just playing around with the system in general, talking about how good these stick to the studs, how well they attach, how easy it is to actually figure out where to put lights, and so on and so forth. So without further ado, let's jump right into things. It's time to get hands-on with the demo. Vosentech has provided me with a set of sample LEDs and lights that are compatible with LEGO pieces, as well as this base, which is essentially what you use to place your builds on top of, and a few additional LEGO City stuff where we can actually test the potential of these lights. The thing that really excited me about this are specifically being able to include lights on minifigures. That really opens up a lot of potential here, because obviously the big benefit to having the lights just come separately is that with this system, you don't actually need to hook up any wiring, so there won't be any ugly wires running from one minifig to the next, and in a play scenario or in a display scenario, you can actually have lights on minifigures or small pieces here and there, or even moving vehicles, all while sticking to the same system. So let's go ahead and plug this in and see how it looks. So obviously the light is on right now, so we won't be able to see this super clearly, but if we bring this closer here, you may notice that the lights are actually working on the minifigure accessories, which is really cool. Let's bring over our other guy over here, and there you have it, the lights are lighting up. But let's try this one more time with our lights turned off. I have dimmed the lights in the room, and wow, you can see just the range on this thing. This is a really cool setup, especially if, like this, you want to have, say, a minifigure holding a flashlight or some sort of torch, or have the light turned on with the diver's camera. The possibilities really are endless here. And what's really cool is that you can even see some of the lights lighting up that aren't even in range of the board itself. So the board actually does have quite a significant range, although obviously, the moment that you actually bring it closer inwards, then the lights are going to be the brightest. What I think is really cool is the possibility of integrating lights into even the smallest of builds, such as a light on the inside of the boat here, which really is tucked away. I didn't even notice that there was going to be a light in there until I brought it on the platform, which is just such a cool idea to have for some sort of a LEGO build. Moving onwards, of course, one of the most obvious applications here are street lights, so you can actually use the street lights here above. You can see that the lights are beaming downwards, plus the traffic lights, which you can see right there, the green, yellow, and red, which would look absolutely fantastic in a city layout. Let's bring over some other ones, like the car here, which is quite cool. You can see the police lights, and even the interior of the car is lit up with a flashlight or beacon on the side, and you can really see that this is quite a cool item to get, especially for smaller items. Now let's bring over all of the different samples here. So we've got some more stoplights, some more street lights here, and it's almost just like magic. The moment that you place them on the platform, the lights begin to light up. So look at that, that is really, really cool, and again, no wires, which is really special. So obviously you can see I've been provided with a large bag of different lights to play around with on my own, and why not actually use these? I'm not going to put these to waste, so what I'm going to do is I'm going to bring over some of my own personal LEGO sets and test them out and see how easy it is to make things light up. To test out some ideas I had with the lighting system, I've brought alongside a few minifigures and sets, which I figured would be pretty appropriate to test with the lights. Obviously, I've not hooked up the lights yet because I do want to demonstrate how easy it is to actually just decide where to put lights on certain figures. So I have some examples from Doctor Strange over here. We've got a Star Wars character, Ahsoka Tano from Rebels, for the lightsaber, and some Ninjago characters as well who frequently use elemental abilities and typically would make sense to actually have pieces of them being lit up. So let's just get our figures set up here and try to make each one of them light up one by one and get this all squared away to go. I'm going to start off with the easiest ones, which I think will be the Doctor Strange figures. So taking this first one here, we've got our bag of lights, and these lights are pretty much the same size as the LEGO Technic 1x1 washer element, or maybe kind of like a round stud. They're super, super simple to turn on. And what I'm going to do is I do want to get the colors right, so I'm going to turn this on here and specifically pick out some of the colors that I want. So I would love to get some of the reddish colored ones for Doctor Strange, so let's go ahead. Actually, maybe the orange ones or the yellowish orange ones would be more perfect. So let's go and grab those right now and move onwards. So I'm actually just going to pour these out. I have a feeling that's going to be a little bit easier to find things. And let's get our orange lights all squared away. So there's one here, and there's one of those here. So let's see how easy it is to actually attach these two Lego pieces. So what I'm going to do is I will get the little adapter element and attach the light in the adapter here. So there you go, the light is in the adapter. And what we'll do is that I will take this light, place it on the end of the figure's hand, so that is a nice strong fit, and put this over it if we can attach that. And there you go, you easily have a lighting solution just perfectly lit up right there for the Doctor Strange spells, which is such a cool look. Let's try it with this. Once again, we just remove this end here, and the only depth that you're actually adding here is basically just the same width as one of these kind of standard Technic elements, so you're not even losing that much depth in it in terms of making them a little bit thicker. It's super easy to just attach these. Let's just get that stuck on there. And there you have it. This is the Doctor Strange shield. Look at how cool that looks, and you can really raise it up above the ground. You can have it in an action pose, and that will just stay on. So that is really cool. Let me just actually test how high you can lift it up before the light starts to dim. You can have it as high as here or even here, which is nearing the top of my camera's range, and the light is still on. Obviously, it gets a lot brighter as soon as you move it downwards, but there really isn't that big of a difference in lighting, which really gives this a lot of potential for larger builds, which we'll see in just a second. So let's set that aside here and try to hook up the rest of the figures. I really wanted to test this with a character wielding a lightsaber, so let's get one of the white colored ones for Ahsoka here and get this all hooked up with the adapters. So let me grab one of our adapters like so, get the light squared away, attach that on the end of the lightsaber. The tricky thing would now be actually attaching the blade itself, although I'm pretty sure I can just kind of bootleg, jury rig one of these other pieces that I've been included on the back here to actually attach onto the lightsaber itself. It's not the easiest design, it probably could be a little bit better, but yeah, there you can see it. The lightsaber blade can be lit up. There's probably a more efficient way of doing this, to be completely honest, because you are having to attach the light just on these very large pieces, so maybe it isn't the best solution for figures who are wielding lightsabers because it just makes the hand a lot bulkier, but let me see if we can experiment with something different here. Potentially, if there is a way to make these smaller or something like that, and then just attach this on, although if it is just for a display, you could very easily just say, tape or glue one of the pieces on here just to get that glowing look, and that is a very slim and compact look. That does not look too bad to me. So if there was an easy way to attach it onwards for a display, I think that could work pretty well. But so far for lightsabers, it just probably is a little bit too bulky. But now let's test things out with the Ninjago figures, and I was quite excited to try this out because there are a lot of unique figures that we can use to play around with this here. Let's get one of our attacher points set up, and we can just kind of have it shooting out of his hand here. And once we get the light actually attached into here, again, super simple to use, then there we have it. He has some fire bursting out from his hand, which will look really cool in any different setting. So altogether, I am very pleased with the way that these lights turned out. Obviously, they're meant for accessories and for car stuff, but I was kind of curious how they would work on different minifigures, and this does not disappoint me, because you can really just mount them wherever you wish. Let me just try, say, for example, to mount this onto here. That doesn't actually quite stick because obviously it is just a stud, but if you really wanted to, you could actually have the tips of the wings being glowing as well. So that is pretty cool. That's a really cool look for this figure, and you can really just get creative, which is what these lights are about. The thing that I like most about playing around with these lights in particular is that, unlike many of the other LEGO lighting kits, these do not actually adhere to one specific set. It's not instructions telling you where to put these. This is almost like the LEGO of light kits, in that you can just literally choose where you want to put things and just kind of play around with it for your own displays. Let's try to experiment with this one more time with a figure here. We have the energy version of Nia, and we can actually get that attached up onto her hand here. So let us connect up the light, and there we have it, attached to the hands. And there you go. Now we actually have a bit of the figure that is glowing blue, which is really cool. And imagine just a ton of these scattered across the minifigure or surrounding the figure itself. That would be a really cool look. Before we move on, I wanted to get a shot of Nia's ocean form wielding 2 different lights, and wow, that looks really cool. Just imagine the different possibilities for minifigures here. You could even attach lights to these ends as well if you wanted to get really creative with it. And look at that, you can really raise it around, you can move it, and the lights are not going out. And again, no wires, it is like magic. And one last thing, look at this. This looks really cool because you can actually mount the lights on the underside of minifigure legs. Not entirely sure if the pieces were intended for that, but this looks really cool because of course you can actually get that glowing leg look for minifigures, which is obviously what is wanted for a minifigure like this one. And of course he has to be shooting fire out of his hand as well. The possibilities are endless, and as a LEGO fan, the most important thing to me is being able to add dynamic lighting to single minifigs, whether for photos or for play or even for videos, and this does the trick absolutely. Since these are all LEGO compatible, yes, that means you can have Bionicle eye sockets glowing as well. You can see I've put just a green one in there, which looks really cool, especially when the lighting conditions are much darker. You can really see just how bright this can get, glowing green eyes, and that is really cool how these are just basically compatible with any type of LEGO piece, and it's really easy to make them modular and really show off the potential behind a lighting system like this. One of the advantages to the lighting system literally just being a board is that you don't need to leave it on the ground. You could easily mount it vertically and then do crazy stuff like this, such as putting lights all the way over a large mech and having them go from top to bottom while still having the entire surface of the mech fully lit up. It is a really cool look for a lot of these mid-sized Ninjago mechs, which this is a custom modified version of the Hydro mech from last year, but you can totally go crazy and put lights all around it if you wish, kind of like how I've done different colors like the green inside, and we have some of the white spotlights on the outside, and of course we have the red on the sword suggesting that it's glowing red. And yeah, this works out perfectly great, and of course you can move it around and just kind of play around with it and it will be totally fine. So this is quite an exciting prospect, and we have one more set left to look at. I wanted to end this by taking a look at just one final set I have added some lights to, which was a really good one to do because it had a lot of undersides of studs, so it was really easy to hide some of these lights, but I tried to factor in a ton of different lights here, like the red in the mouth, and the greens on the sides of the weapons there, and even a little flashlight, and an interior red lighting, which you can see right here. Even the detachable sub has 2 front white lights as well, so if you wanted to detach that, you can have that working, and it is currently daytime, so the light effect is not as significant as it would be if it was at night, but you can really see just how easy it is to attach lights to these. It is a really cool system. Even got some on the tail here, which as it swings closer to the board, you can actually see it lighting up like so that is pretty cool. And overall, this is again a very cool system to really be fully customizable in the way that you play with LEGO and actually integrate things here and there, such as lights being integrated into vehicles, into dragons, into weapons, into minifigures themselves. The possibilities are basically endless with something like this. So that is very cool, and a big shout out to Vosentech for developing this, and especially to my friend Ivan, who was able to send me over a copy of these lights. Thank you so much, and I certainly will be putting them to good use. And I'm sure a lot of LEGO exhibitors, displayers, or even people who just want to play with LEGO while they're lit up will be having a great time with these. Alright, and so as you just saw, with the power of a single plate and a ton of little LED lights, we were able to bring our LEGO sets to life and light up just like magic. Now, personally, my favorite thing about this is that, one, it does mean that you can actually light up LEGO minifigures and minifig accessories, which is really hard to do if you want to actually play with them while lit up, or maybe have to angle them in a display, because obviously if it's wired, you have to actually pay attention to how the minifigures are wired up. With this, you can literally take a minifigure, put a flashlight or a blaster or some sort of accessory in their hands, and you can just move them around the vicinity of the plate and they will light up. That is really cool. I also can imagine that this will be incredibly useful for LEGO convention displays. Not only will you no longer have to individually wire up every single one, if you just got a ton of these and space them out, you could easily put LEGO base plates on top of them, and again, thanks to induction, they work through really any amount of layers of plastic that you have above them. So you could have an entire LEGO house sitting on top of this, fully lit up, and make it as easy as sticking on a 1x1 stud, just like magic. So do go check out Vosentech down in the link below and their amazing LEGO Light Kit. This is kind of a game changer for LEGO lighting as far as I'm concerned, and I'm incredibly excited to have had the chance to play around with this and show this video to all of you. Many thanks to my friend Ivan, who actually is in charge of Vosentech. I do know him quite well, and I can say I can vouch for the quality of the products that he provides. And on one final note, if you want to try these out yourselves and happen to be in the Philadelphia, Pennsylvania area, Vosentech will actually be demoing and selling these in person at Brick Fair LEGO Expo at Exton, Pennsylvania on September 24th and 25th. So thank you for sending me this. This has been an absolute treat to play around with, and I hope that you get to enjoy it as well. So again, check out the link in the description below to get your own, and let me know down in the comments today, what do you think of this? Do you like it? Do you dislike it? Do you have any feedback for Ivan and the Vosentech team, because they are continuously improving it? The version that I was sent is actually a prototype before they begin to actually get things molded, so as of right now it is just a prototype, but it definitely will continue to improve and expand in the future, and I am incredibly excited to see what else they're able to make. Thank you all so much for tuning into Duck Bricks. I hope you enjoyed this video. Be sure to like and subscribe for even more LEGO news, reviews, discussion, and analyses coming your way very soon. Thanks, and bye-bye for now.